This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
It's going to WrestleMania. Claymore! Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
What's going on, guys? Time to talk Raw here on this 12th day of November 2024. And lots to cover on this Raw episode here that really ramped things up for Survivor Series and put the War Games match of Bloodline versus Bloodline at the forefront. Yeah, hell with the brand rules. Those have been gone for a while, especially when it comes to big main events. And it's been a story that's been woven throughout both shows. And I continue to expect that to happen over the coming weeks as we build towards a Survivor Series PLE that's coming to us. Is it November 30th? I believe so. So we've got a lot to talk about there. A lot of good stuff, though. I mean, I know that people are a bit disappointed or not understanding why a fifth member needs to be included. And I actually make a case for why they should, even though both the OG Bloodline and Solo's Bloodline don't have a fifth member that's really very obvious right now. Although, if you think about it, I think one will. The reason they're doing these two extra guys is to build towards WrestleMania, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But I want to give you guys a reminder if you're interested in contributing to After Dark, or you want to be a host for After Dark, please send me a After Dark show. And you can do that at mailbag@wwepodcast.com. Send me your show. It can be about pretty much anything, wrestling related, life, stories of your life, the good, the bad, just no politics or religion if you please. And that's it. That's really the only rules. And email it to me, mailbag@wwepodcast.com if you think you'd be a good fit. And one more thing, if you want to join us on Patreon, couple things. Number one, right now the sale for the 50% off annual plans is coming to a close in the next day or two. And that's going to be the code Bloodline. Those are only good for new annual memberships. Okay? New annual memberships. Use the code Bloodline and get 50% off any tier. So think about that if you're interested. And the other thing is, I do now have a page on Patreon for my other podcast I do. It is ad-free. It's called The War on Truth. And it's patreon.com/The War on Truth. So patreon.com/The War on Truth. I just got it up and running. We published our first episode there. And there's only two tiers, so I kept it simple. One's a $3 tier. The other one, I believe, is a $6 tier. And they both provide different benefits, including community chat. And that is much more political and cultural, which we don't talk about on this show. At least I try not to. And you can find all of that other stuff, if you're interested, over there on patreon.com/The War on Truth. All right. I think I got all of the housekeeping stuff. Let's dive into Monday Night Raw. And let's talk about the Bloodline story. As earlier mentioned, I think this story... No, I know it has a means to an end. The 5-on-5 format, number one, feels much more like Survivor Series than if there wasn't 5-on-5. Yes, it's in a War Games match. It's not your traditional 5-on-5 tag team elimination match. That's not what this is. And I'd prefer this, though, over the forced brand rivalry that some of you loved, and I still don't understand how or why, but to each his own. And this is... So the numbers are with Survivor Series. It's nice 5-on-5. In the coming weeks, I'm sure you'll see who gets an advantage based on the matches, or some kind of qualifier match, or some kind of match with a stipulation that the winner earns the advantage in War Games. which there is no real advantage because the match doesn't even start until everyone's in the match. I never understood that. Yeah, they may have the advantage simply for the fact that they're always outnumbered every time there's somebody coming in. Right? Every time there's a new person coming in, they're outnumbered, or a new person anyway. So it'll be a 2-on-1, then it'll be 3-on-2, and then it'll be 4-on-3, and it just it seems like it's going to be constantly a handicap match. But here's the thing: you can't eliminate anyone until the bell rings and everyone's in the match. So at that point, any advantage you think you had doesn't exist. So they'll try to sell you a bill of goods that there's an advantage. There is no advantage. I never understood why. Hey guys, abide by these rules, but the match hasn't even started yet. How does that work? So anyway, it'll be a fun match. We've been talking about this Bloodline match for a long time. And this past week, both Sami and Solo Sikoa attempt to recruit Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins says no to both. Now, as a babyface, he's going to say no to Solo. That makes sense. It is interesting. He told Solo that the next time he's in a ring with Roman Reigns, he's going to be stomping his head into the mat. That's interesting. A babyface threatening a babyface. When that happens, I don't know. It still feels like these two have not had a proper program. I've said that for literally years now, that these two have yet to have a full-length actual program. They tease it here and there. There's the Survivor Series, or what was it? When Roman Seth Rollins attempted to play mind games with Roman with the Shield gear, and then WrestleMania, Seth Rollins shows up, and all the rest of it. And I feel like we get little glimpses of it, and then it's gone for like 2 years. And you don't see it again. So I believe the next draft that there is, these two will be on the same brand. It needs to happen. So he still has no love lost for Roman. Not even a little bit. And so he puts down Solo, and the big insult to him was saying that he's a Roman Reigns wannabe. So that was the burn to Solo. And he walks off, but Sami Zayn tries to recruit him to be the 5th member of the OG bloodline. And he told Sami, "You're blind. After everything he did to you, you can't see it, but I can. I know who Roman Reigns really is." And Sami, he got a big no from Rollins, and Sami was kind of dejected about it. And, that's that. And it lends you really to wonder what the hell Seth Rollins is going to do at Survivor Series. It seems like he could be continuing with Bronson Reed. He could be, but next week, it seems like that's it. So they are likely wrapping this up next week based on what Adam Pearce said to Seth Rollins, that you get your match next week, but that's it. One more. Adam Pearce does his obligatory, just red-faced screaming on Raw. It wouldn't be a Monday Night Raw without Adam Pearce screaming and yelling. And Adam Pearce, I think he's done a nice job. I think he's grown on me. At first, I thought he was insufferable, and he slowly grew on me, and he improved and improved and improved. And I've got nothing really bad to say about him. And so hearing him lose it every week is almost becoming a guilty pleasure of mine. Losing it, screaming at somebody, security gets their ass kicked. It's the same old, and that's what we got here with Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins. As the brawl ensues, and there's really no clear-cut guy that gets the advantage or last laugh. They each have moments during the brawl where they have, the upper hand with slamming Bronson Reed into the post and setting up Seth through the table, but not doing it. It's been a lot of fun. I wonder what a Bronson Reed story looks like without this formula, though. Is this how every Bronson Reed program is going to go, where it is 85% backstage? it's not a complaint yet, but I could see it getting a little repetitive with fans, and the fact that he's been using this formula for now a couple of programs is different, yes, but also you can't live here. It gets the attention of fans, no doubt, and people know who you are now, and it's a big deal. But I would like to see Bronson Reed have a traditional program at some point, and I don't know, does anybody know what the match next week is? I mean, it can't be a straight-up wrestling match. These two have to be in some kind of like death match or fire pit match or spear through the heart match. I don't know, something. Because these two, all the destruction they've caused, admittedly very entertaining, like the Braun Strowman feud was with Bronson Reed. It again, it's following kind of that same format, but it's making Bronson Reed a bigger star. You know, win, lose, or draw, Bronson Reed is getting a lot more eyeballs, if not the most eyeballs he's ever had on him during this stretch. And that's really the net positive here, is that you have a guy that came from on again, off again moments, go away, and not really finding his footing and knowing where to go, to a guy that is all about destruction, is all about making a name for himself. You kind of know what his mission and goals are. It's not hard to figure out, and he's said as much. So now he's working with top talent like Seth Rollins. And that win, lose, or draw is a win, a net win. Again, even in a loss, it's not going to really matter that much for Bronson Reed if he loses. So I'm really enjoying what they've done here with Seth and with Bronson Reed, just as I enjoyed Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman more than I thought I would. And it's bringing a side of Seth out too. Let's not forget that is much more serious. It's less showmanship and more substance, where we're getting the Seth Rollins that is confident, that wants violence, that's not trying to crack so many jokes. We're not getting the incessant sing-along to his music, which is always good. You're still hearing it, but it's less of the showmanship and more of the violence. And that's really what I think most of us at our core want. And we're getting it from Seth Rollins. We're getting that kind of, it's like a throwback, but evolved throwback version of Seth Rollins, if that makes sense at all. So I've enjoyed the heck out of it. But let's get to the rest of Raw here. We do have the obligatory tag team match with the women, because there's nothing at all ever special about a women's tag title match. And if you didn't know it, all you have to do is look at every single show that's done, and you realize, hey, there's not a women's tag team match on this? What? Why? Fans have come to expect this to always, for every show to always have a women's tag team title match, which, you guessed it, does devalue the feeling of the importance of the match, the value of the championships. It's really just kind of it's an unfortunate expectation that fans have. So yes, Belair and Jade Cargill take on Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And quick match here as Belair and Jade Cargill beat Liv Morgan and Raquel to retain their titles, sadly. The finish was Naomi coming out, who pulled Stratton from the apron before running into the barricade. Morgan put Naomi down with the DDT. Morgan tagged herself into the match and went for a move from the ropes, but Cargill caught her with a kick, and Belair tagged in and hit the KOD on Morgan and got the victory. After the match, Jax clotheslines Belair and Cargill from behind, and then put Naomi down again, and Io Sky runs out, threw a kick at Jax, and then hit her with springboard dropkick. And the four babyfaces ganged up on Jax. Belair and Cargill performed the double suplex on her, and they all celebrated to end the show. That was the main event, by the way, were the Women's Tag Team Championships. Yes, the main event. Now, you look at any other main event, time-wise, you're looking at 15 to 20 minutes. So the fact that they gave 4 women 7.5 minutes instead of 2 men 20 minutes, I mean, it shows what they really think about the women's tag team division. They may, on the surface, be doing all the things right, giving them more matches, putting them in the main event, so we can't say they never put them in the main event of Raw. Yet they're doing it full well knowing that this is all superficial. It's all for show. Because if you truly valued women's tag team wrestling, you would have a deep roster where women are constantly scratching and clawing to get an opportunity at the championships, which, by the way, are only and should only be defended on PLEs most of the time. And you also only allot 7.5 minutes for 4 women. Give me a break. Now, again, a lot of it is to cover Jade, which she continues to get very mediocre, and that's being kind, reactions. Fans are not buying into this because she has stagnated completely. The flower is off the bloom. Where, okay, yeah, she looks like $1 million and fans gravitate to that. She's a very unique looking woman. She's also good looking but muscular. She's got an interesting combination together, a rare combination that she has together. So good for her, but if that's the only card you have to play, eventually that card's value will burn out. And she's finding out right now that she can't just worry about posting her latest outfit that really is just supposed to show off her body, yet she'll disguise it as, look at my outfit, don't you like my colors? When it's really, the truth of the matter is, look at my physique. Isn't it great? That's essentially what she's saying in all of those pictures that she posts. But can you tell I'm just frustrated with everyone else at being sacrificed at the altar of Jade Cargill? No one more than, of course, Bianca Belair, who continues to, every time she's tagged into these matches, kick ass. So it followed the same format as every other Jade Bianca tag team match, where Jade's in trouble, she gets the hot tag. Is Jade capable of a hot tag? Are we seriously at the point where we don't trust Jade to get the hot tag and just do clotheslines and do suplexes and quick maneuvers? I mean, hot tags, that's really all that's substantively, is that a word? Part of a hot tag is you come in, you kick ass, you clothesline, you knock down maybe a couple super kicks because the law mandates it. You have obviously many punches, a couple of simple suplexes. You don't have to go crazy, a couple cross bodies. Is she just not confident enough, or is WWE not confident enough in her to get a hot tag? I may have missed it over the months since they've been a tag team, but can anyone name another time in which Jade got the hot tag and not Bianca? I don't know. I don't know if that's ever happened, but to my knowledge, in my very flawed memory, I don't think it has. Now, let's get to something else here. And let's start at the top of Raw. And the top of Raw, if I get this correct, because I don't want to miss any detail, important ones anyway. We had Gunther come out and being introduced by Lillian Garcia. God, it's great to hear her voice. And Gunther stated that the only thing that matters is that he is still the World Heavyweight Champion. He doesn't live in the past and instead looks at what's in front of him. Gunther said he has a lot to say about his next challenger. That's when Damien Priest comes out and joined Gunther. Priest recalled some of the insults that Gunther dished on him in the past, and Priest said that title wouldn't be around the waist of Gunther right now had it not been for, quote, his so-called brother. Referring to Finn Balor. I feel like those two still haven't had a proper program, but... So anyway, Priest said Gunther has started to doubt himself. Priest said Gunther's vibe has faded even more since he was pinned by Cody in Saudi Arabia. Gunther showed that the comment got to him, and Cody chant broke out, and Priest said Gunther couldn't even speak because he had doubt. And then we have Priest saying that Gunther can't beat him. Ludwig Kaiser comes out and questioned what was happening. He does stand up for Gunther. There's no official turn here, although I think that's coming. And Gunther covered the microphone and then poked Kaiser with his finger while talking to him. Kaiser said he wouldn't let street trash, or every time I hear that, I think of Aladdin. But that's street rat, not street trash. But I guess potato. So anyway, so Priest punches Kaiser and cleared him from the ring. Gunther teased making a move and then backed off, and then Gunther exited. So here's a couple good things from this segment. Number one, Priest feels like he belongs. The Priest experiment is over. It has succeeded. Now, how far can we take it is the next question. I don't know. Priest has it. He has a presence. He can talk. He feels confident. He doesn't feel like a fish out of water. He feels like he's ready, and he belongs in that top tier. And it's a credit to him and credit to creative for being able to put him in that position. It's what the business is all about, is developing new stars, as sometimes painful as that can be. So, do I think Priest has an actual chance to beat Gunther? No, not at this moment, not at this juncture. Because I think they have much bigger plans for Gunther down the road, including like WrestleMania. And if that's the case, you're going to have him remain with the championship until that time. So, let's move on. We have Kofi thanking R-Truth for helping him out backstage with the Final Testament. He also apologized for not helping him. And Kingston mentioned that Xavier didn't want to help. Woods showed up and asked what they were talking about. And Pete Dunne interrupted and took issue with Truth, referring to him as Butch. Kingston spoke up on behalf of Truth. Woods said this has nothing to do with him, and he wasn't happy with Kingston challenging Dunn to a match. So we'll talk about that debacle in a minute. But first, Damage Control's Io Sky, Kairi Sane, and Dakota Kai take on Pure Fusion Collective, which consists of Dakota Kai, Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark. So this match, let's see how many minutes it got. I'm trying to find, 10 minutes, about 10 minutes, with Damage Control's Io Sky, Kairi Sane, and Dakota Kai getting the victory here. And I guess that's a good thing, although beating Pure Fusion Collective isn't exactly, winning an Olympic medal. It's kind of like everyone's done that at this point. I don't know why they brought Sonya Deville back just to keep losing, but here we are. So, backstage, Jey Uso spoke with Sami about saving the group on Friday, and Jimmy showed up, and then Sami turned away. Jimmy asked what Sami's problem was, and Jey tried to get them on the same page and said they needed a fifth member. Oh, we need that fifth member for our Survivor Series team in War Games. And Jey said they don't have friends on Monday or Friday, and Zayn said he might know someone. Zayn told Jey that he would text him. After Zayn walked away, Jey told Jimmy to be nice. Okay. Now let me break this down for you a little bit further into a fine powder. My best guess for who the fifth member of the OG bloodline is not Paul Heyman, although he'll be in tow. I hope he is. But physically, I think it's Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes, who has softened his abrasiveness for Roman after they teamed up against Solo and his crew at the last PLE, or Bad Blood rather, he has a little bit more of a soft spot for Roman. And I think it's probably Cody Rhodes. Now, on the other side of the coin, you have potentially The Rock. I think he's a front runner. Do I think it's likely? 50-50. It's a cop-out, but I feel like 50-50 is the chance with The Rock. You know how his schedule goes and how he can do this and then he can't, and then he's rumored to show up and he doesn't, and all the rest. I mean, so I'd say 50-50 is The Rock's chance of being that fifth partner for Solo Sikoa, but it would create a hell of a perfect program moving forward. Because remember, Survivor Series is not just about the destination like most nights. It is about what they're planting the seeds for moving forward, and that is, for The Rock, Cody versus The Rock. Those two have yet to lock horns. And they teased it upon The Rock's dismissal from WWE, after Bad Blood, and then he left. But I think with The Rock there in that match, you could really start a Cody Rock program, continue it. And I think that that's what they'll probably do here. Plus, the workload is really it's dispersed at a point where you don't need to be in tip-top shape to perform in the match. Yes, it's a brutal match, but The Rock's not going to take any crazy bumps anyway. So I think with that said, Rock and Cody are probably the members for their respective teams. And then we'll have to see where The Rock's loyalty lies. Does it truly lie with Solo? Does he side with Roman? Does he turn on Roman? Is he just only going to have an issue with Cody Rhodes? There's a lot to discuss on that front, and we'll get our answers in just a few weeks. So, all right, let's continue. And again, if you guys have any theories, as to who that fifth member could be, other than the two I mentioned of Cody and The Rock, for both bloodlines, who are the two members? Who are the two besides Cody and The Rock? Who could they be? I want to hear your ideas. There are some plausible ones out there, but these are the most likely in my mind. All right, let's continue. So we have, my God, okay, Kofi Kingston with Xavier Woods versus Pete Dunne. And this match was 9 minutes. Pete Dunne beats Kofi in 9 minutes, and he won via the bitter end. After the match, Woods was helping Kingston at ringside and still trying to make his point. Kingston shoved him, and they bickered. Okay, if you guys haven't seen it yet, Pete Dunne threw some of the worst ground and pound punches I've ever seen in the history of pro wrestling. I mean, it was horrific. I didn't catch it until I saw it on TikTok because I wasn't watching Raw live. And I'm like, did this happen, how many, 5 years ago or something? Where did we get this footage? Oh no, it was from that night. Pete Dunne threw some just god-awful, inexcusably bad grounded and pound punches on Kofi Kingston. Horrific. Embarrassing. I mean, imagine watching with a friend who's trying to get back into wrestling and you're sitting on the couch with them and you're watching this match and you just want to slither off the couch into oblivion. I mean, it's embarrassing. So, I mean, now I don't want to get on Pete Dunne too much, but this was just a bad night for him. Pete, just bad. So, we're still waiting for the official split of the New Day. That seems to be coming. We're getting closer and closer. It's teasing me with its presence. I'm waiting for it. But clearly WWE isn't just yet. All right. It also continues to split, again, Kofi and Xavier. All right. So we had commercials for the Elimination Chamber, which is taking place in Toronto, Canada this year. So congrats to the Toronto crowd for snagging that PLE. That's when Bronson Reed came out and he delivered a promo. He told Seth that if he wants revenge, he was waiting for him in the ring. And Reed said the only thing Rollins had to do was come out. And of course he did. He did, and we know what happened after that with the brawl that ensued thereafter. So I have no issue with that either. Fun program. Okay. Damien Priest and Ludwig Kaiser. Priest beats Kaiser in 7 minutes and 40 seconds after he hit South of Heaven. A very decisive victory. After the match, we had Gunther walk onto the stage and looked at the ring, and Barrett said it was a Pence and nervous-looking Gunther and questioned if he could beat this version of Priest. I will say Gunther did emote some very convincing facials for fear or concern or anxiety. He definitely did. Do I think there's any real threat to his championship? No, not for some time. That's my best guess. I could be wrong, but I think that's probably accurate. Now, Gunther here, or rather, we have Kaiser, who continues to also waffle back and forth with loyalty to Gunther, and Gunther continues to accept it, not accept it, has a hairpin trigger with Kaiser. What are they doing with Gunther? What are they doing with Kaiser? Kaiser's there. He's not. He's on his own. Gunther gets mad with him. Then they're good. It's weird. I don't know where they're going with this. It's not a complaint, just a kind of like, hey guys, you need to kind of figure out where you're going here. So anyway, let's continue here. We had highlights of Braun Breaker and Sheamus fighting to a 3-minute draw on Speed and then fighting afterward. And that's when we had Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker get interviewed by Kathy Kelly. He said he's looking to expand his trophy case and said that as the fastest WWE wrestler in history, this Speed title interests him. And Breaker complained about Sheamus getting in his way. Well, I mean, it's true that Sheamus is in the way of Breaker in some sense, but do we really need to harp on how fast Braun Breaker is? Are we really going to harp on it? Did we not get enough incessant statistical reminders from Cole over the weeks and months that he can run the ropes at 27 miles an hour, some insane inhuman number, which is very impressive, but that doesn't help you win championships, all right? Execution does, fan support does, but it's just my cup of tea here. Okay, Sheamus then walked on and said Breaker has a lot of arrogance, and Sheamus said it was disrespectful because he's been with the company for 15 years compared to Breaker's 15 minutes. And Sheamus recalled putting his foot on John Cena's chest when he won a world title, and said that was arrogance. But Sheamus challenged Breaker to put the title on the line that has eluded him. And Breaker said he didn't listen to a word that Sheamus said, but he'd give a title shot because nothing would please him more than kicking his old ass. Sheamus told him to shine up the title because it's coming home. And anybody again with a working knowledge of wrestling right now knew that Sheamus is not in the position in his career to be at the front of anything really. In terms of current product, his character doesn't really lend itself to being an Intercontinental Champion right now. He's a legacy star that is underappreciated generally as a whole in this company, but he's never really going to be that guy anymore. Those days I think are gone. All right. So The Miz is walking backstage. He was greeted by the Final Testament. Miz told Karrion Kross he was going to go to Adam Pearce's office and ask for a leave of absence. And Kross said Miz gave him nothing. He questioned if the Wyatt Six just let him go. Miz said he settled his business with the Wyatt Six. He said he's a better man now than they let him go. Miz told Kross that he should move on. Kross put up Paul Ellering and blamed The Miz. Kross asked if Miz remembered when he said he was going to go break his legs, and Kross had, quote, AOP. And Akam and Razor grabbed the Miz and bring him to the stage and then to the ring. Scarlett got the mic and handed it to The Miz. Kross said The Miz was lying to him, and it added that the story doesn't add up. Kross shoved Miz down and asked him where the Wyatts were. That's when the Wyatts come out. It started with Uncle Howdy, Eric Rowan, Nikki Cross, Dexter Lumis, and Joe Gacy, and they the group entered the ring and went face to face with the Final Testament. So that's where we're headed. Wyatt Six versus Final Testament. And yes, some of you may look at this as a step down for the Wyatt Six. I don't. Because what are they really running on here anyway? Bray's old music and the memory of Bray. That's it. This is what you're running on. It's not sustainable. It's not. And right now, the Final Testament needs help. They've gotten more airtime in the last 2 shows than in the last 2 months or more. The Final Testament is in a good spot right now because people are getting to understand who and what they are. On top of the fact that The Miz put on an Academy Award-winning performance with pretending not to be in cahoots with the Final Testament and setting up the Wyatts to taking chairs to the back. Just well executed all around and continued to solidify The Miz in the heel role, which he should be. So he attacked Eric Rowan. Howdy looked at Cross and laughed, and the Final Testament members were worked over by the Wyatt Six. Worked over the Wyatt Six with the help from The Miz. And the finish here was Cross closing out the beatdown by slamming Uncle Howdy to the mat. So there we are. It's kind of a weird combination with The Miz and the Final Testament. I don't know what to make of this. It's a weird oil water situation. Maybe it'll change, but I don't know how to feel about The Miz and the Final Testament. It's weird at this moment. Doesn't jive. It doesn't jive on paper, and their on-screen chemistry is substandard at best. But it's fine. For the story we're telling right now that's not going to last long, I'm okay with that. All right. Well, let's hear. We've got the women's tag team title match, which I already talked about. There's also video going around post-show of all the women dancing on stage extremely awkwardly. It's not. I wouldn't recommend you look it up. If you want to feel embarrassed, and you're thinking to yourself, hey, I haven't had my daily dose of embarrassment. Well, that's one right there for you. It's on TikTok. It's not on the network or on Peacock or anything like that, or and YouTube. It's just all 4 women after the show dancing on the stage, and it's painful to watch. It's painful, but I don't want to get on. I feel myself going down another road of Jade Cargill, and I don't want to. I do wish her the best in what she does, and if need be, all future endeavors. Not advocating for her to get fired, but at some point, sink or swim, baby. Sink or swim. That's it. Well, that'll do it for the Raw review here on the WWE podcast. A little quick and dirty show. But don't forget, if you want an annual subscription over on Patreon, 50% off. That offer's being erased in a day or two. Maybe tomorrow. This time tomorrow, it'll be gone, or the following day at the latest. It's going to be gone. And use the code BLOODLINE. That's the coupon code. Or if you're an a-hole, coupon. Please don't tell me you say coupon. Is there anybody out there that says coupon? Please, if you do, there's an unsubscribe button. I'm half joking. But I never understood the coupon business. There's so many different words that people say that I just go, what? Why do you say it that way? However, the coupon code is Bloodline for an annual membership discount. No other discounts are applicable right now over on Patreon. But more importantly, go support my new podcast over on Patreon. It's called The War on Truth. It's patreon.com/The War on Truth. Patreon.com/The War on Truth. If you want to hear more about politics and culture, that's the place to go. Okay. We tried our best to keep it off of here and leave it for the other shows and other spaces. But one last request, guys, as I've said, if there's anybody that wants to contribute to After Dark, please send in your submission and just do a show and send one to me. The email is mailbag@wwepodcast.com. That's where you can go and submit your After Dark show. So that will do it, everybody. I really appreciate it. please consider giving us a 5-star rating. Head on over to the Patreon for this show at patreon.com/WWE Podcast or patreon.com/The War on Truth, depending on which topics you're interested in. And both offer ad-free experiences for everything that we do. And more benefits are on the way. So I'll end it there. I'll be back. Maybe tomorrow will probably be a nostalgia show, retro show, a throwback show. One of those beloved shows, which are kind of a mixed feeling. I feel like, or I do see that there's a mixed reaction to those, but they're fun to repost and see how things were back even a year ago, or 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago in some cases, and see where our headspace was at with different co-hosts and guests that I've had on the show throughout the years, which I'm very grateful for. It's interesting to kind of go back into a time capsule and see what everyone's mindset was and what was going on with the current product. So check that out. I'll be posting that tomorrow with NXT. So the NXT show will be new, but that's kind of it for tomorrow. And then, of course, the rest of the week, you guys know, mailbag, weekend review, SmackDown review, and that's it. So thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate all the support, and I'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.